Hi students, I am Deepak Bhabur from New Catholic Mission School, Java. The students of 10th class, I welcome you to this English class. Students, we are going to study today sixth lesson, The Making of a Scientist. It is from the book Supplementary. It is written by Robert W. Peterson. You can see here the students who do not have friends or they are alone at home. It is very difficult to spend time. Dear students, in the same case, this person, scientist about whom we are going to study, he was alone and he created interest, or he had some interest to discover something. So the name of the chapter also, The Making of a Scientist. How it came into existence, we are going to study the chapter and learn something. Dear students, let us also know about the author, the writer, who was the Robert W. Peterson. 1925, Warren, Pennsylvania, February 11, 2006, was an American newspaper writer who later became a freelance author of magazine articles and books. See, he has done great things. He had written many articles, magazines and books, and he selected his different names, or the things he selected to write, especially on topic of sports and on scouting. Okay, sports. He was very much interested to play some games. So he has the knowledge, or he has the background of certain knowledge. He wrote, and also scouting means we know, and schools. Students they establish a group and they remain in the groups together for some time. They work together. They have some common goal which they carry on. So this is a group does the same thing. His 1917 Chronicle of Negro League Baseball, title "Only the Ball Was White," this was the title he had written, was hailed by the New York Times as having recaptured a lost era in baseball. See, what did he do here? He recaptured, or he pointed, or he referred history, and he recaptured some of the points on basketball history, and a rich feast of a black life in America. The baseball commissioner at the time, Bowen Quinn, later created Peterson's book with having focused greater attention on the accomplishments of Negro League players, leading to their admission to the Baseball Hall of Fame. The students, he was born in 1925 United States, okay, and died 11 February 2006, Salisbury, Pennsylvania, United States. Nationality, his nationality was American, and education, that was Uppsala College. Here he graduated and he attended his education. Let's get into the introduction part of this chapter. Dear students, you can see as a scientist he possesses a lot of knowledge about certain things. For example, we can see the figure here, or the image picture. This is a student or a human being. We can see he has interest to know about the stars or galaxy. He put this instrument here, just settle down, and he is trying to stare at stars. That means he is trying to get some information about stars. Further it says the story The Making of Scientists is written by Robert W. Peterson. It is about the great scientist Richard H. Ebright. Okay, Richard H. Ebright. He had a habit of collecting butterflies. This student, he was a student before becoming scientist. Of course, we know he was a student, and he has interest to collect butterflies. This was his personal interest. What did he do? He had a habit of collecting butterflies, then rocks, fossils and coins since he was a kid. When he was a kid, he had created his own interest to collect butterflies and also fossils. He started scientific research on study of butterflies. Further, he did not stop, but then he continued to collecting butterflies. His curiosity and will to win for the right reason made him successful. It was his interest. It was his interest which led him to win many awards on the history of butterflies. Dear student, about the characters, let us see Richard H. Ebright, and he is a brilliant scientist. He is noted for his work on a cell. So, cell, we know, human being or any living being has a small particle known as cells, and reading of DNA. This was his habit of collecting butterflies and know about the DNA and many more interests he possesses. Richard's mother, she was also a good mother. Richard's mother, she always encouraged him to continue with the interest. She is an encouraging mother who supported Richard in every way. Even Richard did small thing. Her mother was there with him to support him and also encourage him. Dr. Frederick, what did he do? He is a prominent scientist. That means we can understand that under his guidance, Richard continued his studies. He provided valuable guidance to Richard for his projects. This person, Dr. Frederick, he provided valuable guidance. Under his guidance, he was working, and he was about to, or he attained his whole interest. Richard Weyerer, he is Richard's social studies teacher. This person, he was social studies teacher. He helped Richard to become a good debater and a public speaker. This goal, or we can say this aims, was completed by the help of this person, Richard, a social study teacher. He helped him a lot in debating or also preparing for public speaker. Then James R. Wong, what was his role? He is a fellow scholar who worked him on a project. Main points are, let us get into the chapter now. The first point is Richard's success at young age. The article of Richard and his friend was published in a scientific journal, Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. His article was published in this way, or in this medium, we can say in this medium, this article was published. He was only 22 years old at that time when his article was published, which he had written with his friends. It was published at that time. His age was 22 years. It was the first time that the Richard work. It was the first time that the research work of college students was published. Okay, that means he was a lucky person, or it was his fortune. he got the chance to publish his works through college magazines. It was a rare honor for Richard, and he was honored because we understand when he took lot of initiative to write, and he spent lot of time to write this or complete this task, such an article, and it was published in the magazine. He was honored, or he had good time. Richard, a collector from childhood. No doubt in the introduction part we studied that he was not a rare person or not a mere person, but then he was having some speciality. What was his speciality? To collect butterflies. Richard was the only child of his parents. Okay, he was alone, no brothers or no sisters. He was alone. He grew up at reading in Pennsylvania. Here he studied USA. He had no one to play with. As I told you, if there is no one to play with you, you will have to create your own interest, or you will have to play with any toys and things. So he started collecting things like rocks, fossils. As a child we also do the same thing, because there is no one to play, then we start collecting some things which will or we can say that those things will help us in playing whatever game we play. So he started collecting things like rocks and fossils and coins, and also gazing at the stars and collecting butterflies were his hobbies. This was his main hobbies or special hobbies, to collect butterflies. Richard's mother did something. She was as a companion. His companion, Richard's mother, was constantly with him. Constantly means continually, or whatever things Richard does, his mother used to help him out. She encouraged him by taking him on trips. On trips, when Richard goes out, she accompanies Richard and bought him telescopes. She helped him, or she bought him a telescope also. Telescope is an instrument which helps us to see things far away. Another equipments also, whichever equipments are required, his mother helped him. She found work to challenge him and helped him to learn a lot. Further says, Richards reads the travels of a monarch. 10. The reading of children's book title. What the title was? The Travels of Monarch 10. Inspired him. This book helped him, or this book inspired him to do something good in his life. He became interested in the world of science. Now his interest was not stopped there itself, but then it went further. And he did something. See, the book asked the readers to study butterfly migrations. Butterfly migrations means butterfly move from one place to the other place. And Richard has that keen interest to find out whether butterfly moves from one place to the other or not. So in order to know, he did something with the butterfly. What did he do? Richard came in contact with a scientist, Dr. Urquhart, through this book. Okay, that means this book was written by this person, and he came in contact with this person in book, and he started knowing this person, who influenced him greatly. Richard rages monarch butterflies. Rages monarch butterflies means he started keeping some butterflies at his place. Decided to raise butterflies at home. Yes, to study their migration pattern. As I told you in the previous paragraph, he has some, or he had keen interest to know about butterfly and its movement. He would catch a female monarch. First of all, what did he do? He caught a female monarch and take her eggs. He takes her eggs. He would watch all the stages of development of butterfly. Now he started observing all the development of butterfly, but at every steps he observed every steps of developing butterfly. He would watch all the stages of butterfly and then he would take the wings. What did he do? He would stick some takes on the wings, okay, and free them. He did it for many years. He continually did it, or he constantly did it for many years, and raised thousands of butterflies in the basement of his home. In the basement of his home, he raised thousands of butterflies, and he also experimented, or he did something with butterfly in order to collect information about butterflies. Richard enters county science fair. Now, Richard got an opportunity to take part in the competition, and it was a county science fair. There he intended to take part in order to let others know. Richard displayed his slides of frogs at the county science fair, but did not win any award. He did something, but it was not his chance to win award. He realized that he needed to carry out real experiments to win an award, and he realized that this work or this performance or this exhibition would not help him to win award. He had to do something else. He took suggestions from Dr. Urquhart. As a result of his many experiments, he won many prizes at the county and international science fairs in the following years. Because he was guided by this person, and under his guidance he won many awards and prizes. Richard's English grade project. He tried to find the cause of a viral fever that kills thousands of monarch butterflies. Now he tried to find, he could know, or he came to know that some virus was spread, and that virus was killing many butterflies. He thought that a beetle may carry the virus. The beetle may carry the virus that cause fever, although this was not the case, and it was not beetle which was spreading virus, but then some other cause was. He still won a prize for his project. For this project also he won the prize. Richard's win at county fair, he experimented on a viceroy butterflies. This is a type of butterfly. He experimented on this butterfly. He tried to prove that the viceroys copy monarchs. Viceroys do it to project themselves from birds, as birds don't eat monarchs. That means birds do not eat monarchs. The project won the first prize in geology division and overall third prize in the county science fair. The point says Richard's discovery of a hormone. He also discovered hormone. It was his discovery. Richard was curious to know the reason behind 12 gold spots on a monarch pupa. He and his friends built a device to prove that the spots were producing hormone necessary for its full development, and the project got him first prize. Okay, in the county fair, He also entered the International Science and Engineering Fair. He got third prize for geology in this fair. Dear students, Richard continues his research on monarch pupa. He continues his research on monarch pupa. Richard grew cells from the wings of monarch butterfly, and he further proved that cells grow into scales of wings only when they are injected with the hormone from the gold spots. He carried on his work at the Army Laboratory and Laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. After his freshman years at Howard, he returned to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture to identify the chemical structure of hormone. This gave him a new idea about cell life. Okay, Richard's study of cell and DNA. Now he is going to study on DNA. Richard's research on the hormone gave him an idea. When he discovered hormone DNA, it led him to discover something else, and he believed that his study could tell how cells read their DNA. He, along with his college roommate James R. Wong, worked on idea. Then they wrote the paper explaining their theory. Further says Richard's glory at Howard. Okay, Richard graduated with second position in class of 1510 students. He became the graduate researcher. He started experimenting to prove his new theory. His theory may create new ways to prevent some types of cancer and other diseases. This theory helped him to prevent some type of cancer or also other diseases. Richard's an all-rounder. Yes, here it found that Richard was an all-rounder. Richard was not just a scientist, he was an all-rounder. How can we say that he was an all-rounder? He did many things in his life at every step of his life. He was a good debater and also as a good public speaker. He was also a photographer and also outdoors person. His social studies teacher praised him for his will to work hard. Yes, he has a will to work hard. If he has set to achieve something, if he has set a goal to achieve something, he would continue to study on it, do his best and win. Richard, a true scientist, he was not a mere scientist, but he was a true scientist. Richard had all qualities that made him a true scientist. He had curiosity and a first-rate mind. Yes, he was an intelligent person. He wanted to win for the right reasons. Dear students, we have discussed a lot of things. Of course, we know this chapter is completely belonging to science. I have set some questions for you. You need to go through these questions and try to gain some information about this chapter, which would help you to create your own curiosity to know about things. Value-based questions: who is a great scientist in your eye? According to your knowledge, who is a great scientist in present world? Whom do you consider as a scientist? A scientist, who is a scientist? Whom do you consider as a scientist? You do, or do you want to become a scientist? This is here. Do you want to become a scientist? And if you want to become a scientist, why do you want to become scientist? Do you have some type of information or knowledge to impart for this work? So I would like to request you to go through this chapter and try to understand. Thank you very much.